welcome to Beauty and Beyond. I am here today to update you on my Project Level Up. Project Level Up was created by Sophie Alexandra, and I will have all of her information linked below. It's a really fun project where you pick an eyeshadow palette like this one, and on level 1 you use every shade one time and you hit pan on one item. Then for level 2, you're going to use every shade 2 times and hit 2 pans and so forth. Some people stop at like level 3 or 4 and start over again. Some people go up to level 5. I have already finished and completed level 1. I used a quad, every shade 4 times. One time each of the 4 shades, one time, and I hit 1 pan in that, and I have since decluttered that quad because it just wasn't feeling very passionate about that. And so with it being level 2 and kind of wanting to have some variety, I made the decision, because I've seen some other people do this, that I would do level 2 and level 3 at the same time. I'm here to tell you that after I hit level 2, I'm only going to focus on one level at a time. It's getting to be a lot. Level 2 will come from Huda Rose Quartz, and so I have used almost every shade twice. The 2 shades that I need to still hit 2 uses on are Cosmic Love, which I love the shade, but I have to kind of be in the mood for a standout shimmer, because man, it stands out. And then the other one that I need to hit pan on is Moon Magic, which is a pinky blue purpley shift. They are both very gorgeous, but sometimes I'm just not ready to wear something with this much pow, So I have been a little leery about using those 2 times, but with it being Valentine's Day, I really am feeling inspired by Moon Magic, this one. And it is very pinky. It's hard for you to see it right now because it's just reflecting very blue, but it is very pinky also. It's such a pretty shade. It's reflecting very, very blue, but it's such a beautiful, beautiful, great Valentine's Day look kind of shade. I have used every shade in this palette twice except for that one and that one. I have hit 1 pan, which is the sticky shade, which is Love Stone. I had that pretty quickly. Very relieved on that. But because this was such a new palette to me, I knew that it was going to take a long time for me to hit 2 pans, and it is. This is one of my newer palettes, and I'm new to Huda's formula, and her mattes are very hard pressed almost. Not super hard pressed, but they're not really dusty like an ABH shade, so I knew that it was going to take a moderate amount of time to hit pan on one of the powders, on one of the mattes. I'm here to share with you my strategy in order to hurry up and hit one of these 2 pans, because I love this palette and I want to use this palette a lot in the springtime. But as far as panning an eyeshadow palette, I only want to focus on my level 3 and my modified pan that palette, which is this, and I will link videos below that describe to you all of that, and I'll talk to you about how it's modified pan that palette and all of that. So here's my strategy. This shade right here, which is called Quartz, I have been using it, and it's a very kind of an enigma shade to me. I'm not sure if it's a satin or kind of a shimmer or kind of a matte. I'm not sure. It was one of the swirled shades, so it had a couple of different textures within it, but it's a really neutral shade, and it is almost a satin color. So I plan on using this as often as I possibly can. I even, like, just now kind of threw it in my crease a little bit just to kind of, I don't know, get an extra use out of it. It's going to be great for a seemingly matte look because it's not very shimmery. So I feel like I'm going to be able to use this very nicely in conjunction with the level 3 palette or any other color that I tend to use on the brown side. So I'm going to try to let that be one of the shades. I've been focusing on that one quite a while, but in order to increase my chances of hitting pan as soon as possible, I have also discovered that this baby pink shade called Cherished works really nicely as an under eye setting powder because it just kind of is very brightening. And I also use it to set my lid when I use this palette. So here is that one. And it is just one of the mattes. It's a very light baby pink color. So it appears almost white, and it's very, like I said, very brightening. So I tend to put it under my eyes to set my concealer. I'll also set my eye primer with this. So I feel like between using both of those shades, I'm bound to hit another pan in this one within the next couple of months. I do love this palette so much, and I've actually discovered within using this that this shade right here, which is Abundance, and it looks very gray colored, but it is this interesting purple color almost, and I've really enjoyed using that too. So I've gotten to know this palette even better and using it in this project, and so I'm excited to use it. The most used shades in this palette are Quartz, which is this brown satin that I'm trying to hit pan on, the sticky shade, which is Love Stone, and then Cosmic Love, which is the baby pink shade. So you can clearly tell that I am trying my hardest to hit pan. Far beyond that, at only 5 uses, is this one right here, which is Serenity. Another reason why I decided to do level 2 and 3 at the same time is because I pulled this palette, which is very pinky, purpley. I pulled that in the fall, and I thought to myself, this is not going to be very inspiring for fall. So I wanted to pull another palette that I could use at the same time, and I pulled a great fall palette, a great year-round palette, which was my NARS Summer Unrated palette. I've already hit the goal of using every shade 3 times. I knew that would be very easy for me because it's a very great neutral everyday palette. Very, warm and brown. You've got some fun pops of purple, some pinky colors. One thing I've discovered though, in trying to use this, is these are sort of on the warmer end. So for the most part, my Rose Quartz and this one don't really go that great together for the most part. I think I could probably try to pair the pinks, but that one is a little more cooler and this one is a little warmer. I knew that going into it, this was going to be moderately easy because I've already had this palette for several years and it has already gotten some love and some dips and things like that. I knew that this was going to be one of the shades that I could hit pan on, and you can see it down in there just barely, but she's there. Do you see it right there? Baby pan. Because actually I kind of accidentally scratched this one with the end of an eyeshadow brush. So that helped. And this one too, for some reason, I was very rough on it. So I knew that going in, these two, because of that dip that was unintentional, those scratch, those two were going to be shades that I was very confident that I could hit pan on. I just didn't know how deep the pans were. And it's pretty deep. The Rose Quartz, I don't feel like they're all that deep, but these are deeper. So this one is going to take me a long time. Also, in the same vein as Huda Beauty, these mattes are not very powdery. They are very blendable and very easy to work with, but they're not very powdery. So I knew that it was going to take me a while to hit pan on one of these mattes because they don't have a lot of kick up. This shade is a really great crease shade. And again, I already had a little bit of a dip going on in it. So at this point, and it's so hard to see it, but at this point I have a really nice dip going on right there. And I have used that shade in this project 23 times. For the orange shade, in order to hit pan on that, I used it 11 times. And I was able to hit pan on that. This purple shade, I have used it 5 times. That one's going to take a while. I wanted to give you an update on both of these palettes since I had hit a new pan in here. And I really have, I think, a good strategy in order to hit the other 2 pans that I need on my rose quartz. I want to use this project to encourage myself to use my eyeshadow palettes. I may tweak the rules a little bit for myself on level 4 and level 5 because I don't know if I'm realistically going to be able to hit 4 pans and 5 pans on some of my eyeshadow palettes because a lot of them are new or they haven't been used very much. So I honestly don't want to stress myself out. I've seen some people do where they use every shade like the 4 times and use, you know, set 4 shades for 40 uses or something like that. And that may be what I do for level 4 and level 5 so that I can get the uses that I need and the love that I need to get from those particular palettes. But I don't want to participate in this project and stress myself out because one thing that is my main goal and my main heart for project painting this year is to have fun and to be able to use things that I own. And, you know, I have this modified pan, that palette going on, and ultimately I only want to be working on one eyeshadow palette in this project. So it's lots of fun. I highly suggest that you check out Sophie Alexandra because it's a really fun project and she's a really awesome and inspiring makeup artist, project panner, and I'm thankful for this project that she created. Thank you so much for watching my video, and leave me a comment below to let me know how many palettes are you working on right now? Are you project panning, and are you working on more than one? Do you like to pan eyeshadows? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you later. Bye.